My video for July the 21st, 2018 is entitled Monopoly of Ideas, one of many. During a night with very little sleep, many thoughts drove through my restless mind, including the obvious meaning of the word that isn't even shown in the online dictionary. The word itself is a contradiction. Mono means one, and poly means many. The dictionary says it's the exclusive control, privilege, or possession of something. There are those in the world who want everyone to think as they do, to believe the lies they tell, and to march in lockstep to their demonic plan for a one-world order. There's nothing new about that. It has been the dark agenda from the beginning. It's all deception. Rood and Kent Hovind reveal the subtle deceit within the distraction in a powerful new series titled Flat Earth and the Evolution Conspiracy. While Rood was my mother's maiden name, it was Mr. Hovind's presentation that caught my attention. He held up a globe in the talk and gave plausible explanations that debunk the theory of that the Earth is millions of years old. It is certainly interesting to me to read the comments from the flat Earth religionists, and I'm sure the evolutionists that oppose the idea of an actual creation might also strongly disagree with his conclusions. What do you think about this? Yes, I did have a very restless night. 4 hours after I went to bed, I was still awake. I hadn't slept at all, tossing and turning back and forth with many things going through my mind. Most of all, I wish I could go to sleep was the primary thought. But of course, there were many other thoughts that wove through the restlessness. And I had watched yesterday my first ever video by Rood, who has a channel called A Rood Awakening, R-O-O-D, not R-U-D-E. And it's restoring the Hebrew roots of the Christian faith. He has about 60,000 subscribers to his channel. And of course, it's an international ministry. And he's wearing a Jewish, whatever you call, I forget what it's called, the little cap that many Jews wear on their head, and he considers himself a Messianic Jew. Okay. I did not watch a whole, well, actually, I never even heard of the channel until yesterday. So I haven't watched any of the other videos, so I don't want to go into any detail on my opinions even, because I don't know where they're coming from. But I do know that Kent, I thought, made a really interesting presentation that explains how the world could not be thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. The creation of the Grand Canyon is one example that he gave, that there was actually a huge lake in that part of the United States at that time, and when it gave way in the flood, it just washed everything out. The flood just drove very quickly through the limestone of the Grand Canyon, and he gave other illustrations of how things have been found totally encased in the magma, not the magma, but the crustacean, the formation of the earth, how things are locked in place. Even in magma of the volcanoes and stuff like that. There were lots of things that I scratch my head and that makes me think. And I like to be challenged. But I don't like to argue with people. I have people all the time that try to get me into debates. Well, if it's a true debate, as I've seen some debates, well, that's okay. But I don't want to butt heads with somebody. I want it to be done in a fashion that is honorable to both parties, and not, where you end up yelling at each other. That's why I don't like Alex Jones, because he can't seem to talk in a well-modulated voice. And I mean, it's okay once in a while to raise your voice, but when that's your total way of presenting, there's something wrong with that. You don't always have to be yelling at people. You notice, for those of you that have watched a lot of my videos, you don't catch me yelling. I mean, I may present things that I'm challenging some people's ideas, because my own ideas are being challenged as well. I explore things. I have friends that are atheists. I have friends that debunk the Bible and debunk religion completely. In fact, I'm probably pulling out of a Buddhist group that I've been involved with, for one reason, because now all of a sudden they want money, and it costs double if you're not a member of the group. And I don't join groups as in becoming a member. I attend meetings. I don't join groups. But that's another whole subject. This whole idea of monopoly, of having one voice among many that is supposed to be superior to everyone else and silence everyone else. This is what the New World Order is all about. This is what the agenda, as I see it, of the dark forces. They do not want freedom of thought, freedom of religion, freedom of expression. They don't want that. They want control. And that's why they want to reduce the world's population down to a manageable 500 million people, getting rid of at least 6.5 billion people. And they put that in the Georgia Guidestones, folks. I'm not making these things up. These are things that we need to look at, and we need to understand that the mainstream media is almost totally controlled, and it is owned by the people that have this dark agenda. And we have to get to looking at things and examining things with an open mind. And it's so hard when the media itself is controlled. I mean, I see people watching CNN. My goodness, that's the worst channel you could possibly watch. If you're going to watch a mainstream channel, at least watch Fox, which is a little bit more balanced than the other ones. I mean, give me a break. I mean, we have to understand that everything that we've been told is mixed at most. At best, it's mixed with lies, mixed with some truth, or some truth mixed with a whole bunch of lies. And we need to be willing to explore. We need to be willing to examine things for ourselves. And that's why I encourage you to look at this rude awakening. And I do find it humorous that is my mother's maiden name, Rood, R-O-O-D. So I'm hoping maybe some of my relatives might pick this up, especially on my mother's side of the family. Folks, keep your mind open, and more importantly, keep your heart open, because love is the one thing that is common in all religions, although it does seem more advanced in Christianity than it does some of the others, but still it's taught in all of them. And we need to love one another. That's what I keep saying, and it's what I will keep saying, because I think it's the basic truth that we all need to hear. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.